Welcome back to Grammar Grade 9. This is Unit 6, Lesson 43, and today we're tackling one of the sneakiest little agreement problems in all of grammar. What happens when a linking verb sits between a subject and a noun that renames it? The two nouns can disagree in number, and that's where writers stumble. By the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly which one the verb should listen to. Let's dig in. Before we get to today's rule, let's remember two ideas from earlier lessons. A linking verb doesn't show action. Instead, it links the subject to a word that renames or describes it. Take the sentence, Maya is the captain. The little word is doesn't do anything by itself. It simply connects Maya to captain. And that word captain, the noun that renames the subject after a linking verb, has a special name. We call it the predicate nominative. You met it back in Lesson 17. The most common linking verbs are the forms of be, is, are, was, and were, along with a few others like become and seem. Keep both of those ideas handy because today they come together. Here's the heart of today's lesson, and it's just one sentence. In a linking verb sentence, the verb agrees with the subject, not with the predicate nominative. Say that with me. The verb matches the subject, the word that comes before the linking verb, never the noun that comes after it. This matters because the subject and the predicate nominative can have different numbers. One might be singular and the other plural. When that happens, it's tempting to match the verb to whichever noun is closest. But that's the trap. The rule is simple and firm. Find the subject first and let the subject, and only the subject, decide whether the verb is singular or plural. Now let's name the trap directly, because this is exactly where writers slip. The subject and the predicate nominative don't have to match in number, and often they don't. Picture the first case. The subject is singular, but the predicate nominative after the verb is plural. Your ear hears that plural noun and wants a plural verb, but don't fall for it. The verb stays singular because it obeys the subject, not the noun on the other side. Now the flip side. The subject is plural, but the predicate nominative is singular. This time, the verb stays plural. Again, it obeys the subject. In both cases, the noun on the far side of the verb is just a distraction. The subject is in charge every single time. Let's put the rule to work on a real sentence. The books on that shelf are a complete set. Find the subject first. What are we talking about? The books. And books is plural. Now notice the phrase on that shelf, sitting between the subject and the verb. It's just extra description, so we set it aside. The subject books is plural, so the linking verb has to be plural too, are. And what about a complete set over on the right? Set is singular, but it's only the predicate nominative, the noun renaming the subject. It has no say over the verb. The plural subject wins, so we say the books are a complete set. Let's flip it around now so you see the trap from the other side. The reward for the winners is gold medals. Where's the subject? The reward. And reward is singular, just one reward. The phrase for the winners in the middle is a prepositional phrase, so we ignore it as we hunt for the subject. Since reward is singular, the linking verb must be singular, is. Now look at the end, gold medals. That's plural, and your ear is begging for a plural verb, like are. But medals is just the predicate nominative. It doesn't control anything. The singular subject wins, so it's correct to say the reward is gold medals, even though medals is plural. Let's try one more, a trickier one, to pull it all together. The cause of the delays was 2 broken signals. This sentence sets two traps at once. First, right after the subject comes the phrase of the delays, and delays is plural, tempting you toward a plural verb. Cross that phrase out. It's not the subject. Second, over at the end sits two broken signals, which is also plural, but that's the predicate nominative, so it doesn't count either. Strip both distractions away, and what's left is the true subject, the cause, which is singular. So the verb is singular, was. The cause was two broken signals, one calm subject standing between two plural distractions. Let's turn all of that into a simple, repeatable method you can run on any linking verb sentence. Step 1. Find the true subject, the word sitting before the linking verb. Step 2. Cross out any phrase that comes between the subject and the verb, so it can't distract you. Step 3. Decide whether that subject is singular or plural. And step 4, the golden rule. Match the verb to the subject and completely ignore the predicate nominative on the other side, no matter what number it is. 4 quick steps and subject-verb agreement with linking verbs becomes almost automatic. Let's practice. Time to practice. In this first set, I'll give you a sentence with a linking verb, and you pick the correct verb, the one that agrees with the subject. Remember, find the subject and ignore the noun on the far side of the verb. Pause the video and choose before I reveal the answer. The prize for the finalists, blank 2 summer scholarships, is or are. Find the subject, the prize, which is singular. The phrase for the finalists doesn't count, and neither does scholarships at the end. That's just the predicate nominative. So we match the verb to prize. The prize is 2 summer scholarships. The answer is. The murals along the wall blank a tribute to the town. Is or are. The subject is murals, and murals is plural. Don't be fooled by tribute at the end. Even though it's singular, it's only the predicate nominative. The plural subject calls for a plural verb. The murals are a tribute. The answer is are. The subject of these lessons, blank tricky verbs, is or are. Here, the subject of the sentence is, fittingly, the word subject, and it's singular. The phrase of these lessons is just a distractor, and verbs at the end is the predicate nominative, plural though it may be. Match the verb to subject. The subject is tricky verbs. The answer is. Great work. In this second set, we'll zoom in on the most important skill, spotting the word the verb must agree with. I'll show you a sentence, and you choose which word is the true subject, the one that controls the verb. It won't be the predicate nominative, and it won't be the noun tucked inside a phrase. Pause and decide before I answer. The highlight of the games was the closing fireworks. Which word does the verb agree with? Not games. That's tucked inside the phrase of the games. Not fireworks. That comes after the verb, so it's the predicate nominative. The true subject, sitting right before was, is highlight. That's the word controlling the verb. The answer is highlight. The rules of the contest are a mystery to newcomers. Where's the true subject? Contest is inside the phrase of the contest, so it's out. Mystery comes after the verb are, so it's the predicate nominative, not the subject. The word that controls the verb is rules, plural, which is why we use are. The answer is rules. The best part of the holidays is the quiet evenings. Find the word the verb agrees with. Holidays lives inside the phrase of the holidays, so skip it. Evenings sits after the verb is, making it the predicate nominative. The real subject is part, singular, which is exactly why the verb is, not are. The answer is part. Let's gather up today's lesson. In a sentence with a linking verb, the verb always agrees with the subject, never with the predicate nominative, that noun sitting after the verb. The two can have different numbers. The subject might be singular, while the word after the verb is plural, or the other way around. And that mismatch is exactly the trap. When it happens, the noun on the far side of the verb simply doesn't count. So use the method. Find the true subject before the linking verb. Cross out any phrases in between. Decide whether that subject is singular or plural, and then match the verb to it. Do that, and you'll never be fooled by a predicate nominative again. I'll see you in the next lesson.